It's everyone's favorite resident card type from the days of Metarot 2 and showcased meta change even before it was an official feature. It is CAR00 Landmotor with a kit of radar sight, double anti-air, biped legs, and the leg ability of Premacy, which grants a damage reduction when taking damage from foes with the same leg type as the user. Now we actually have seen Landmotor in previous a couple of times as an enemy NPC, not capable of meta change thankfully at that point, but we have seen him nonetheless. But this is his official debut into the game as a pullable model that will be joining the limited pickup pools all the same. Radar Sight is a support-based skill. Everyone who's seen it on standard KWG types knows the deal. Basically, it will grant a boost to success to himself and all allies across the field, but it will also negate and remove any effects of conceal or stealth on the enemy's side, which allows you to properly attack who you want to damage or not have anything particularly stand in your way when it comes to dealing the highest amount of damage possible. Especially with that boosted rate to success, meaning you are more likely to not only just land your hits, but also then be critical hits on top of that. Anti-air is more or less a conditional and very niche shooting skill at best, but basically what it does is that against all foes, it basically deals rather nominal and minimal damage as you see, but when facing off against anyone with a flight-based leg at fully capped part, it will be a times 5 or times 7 damage bonus, if I recall correctly, to that particular target. For a massive increase to the damage dealt as a punish, which effectively makes Landmotor basically the master of surface to air combat to take down anyone that may seem faster or more agile than him. Especially, say for instance, healers like Heal Angel or Wander Angel. When on the field, this is a very good way to take him out really quickly. Of course, with biped legs, it does mean he is going to have some rather solid coverage on most terrains. Unfortunately, though, that does seem to be where a lot of his base pros kind of end and become more of a struggle for him. His armor is pretty decent where you want it to be, about 3050 for the head, about 2900 per arm, 3150 for his legs. His leg stats are honestly pretty nice too. His mobility is fantastic at 871 for a biped leg, but unfortunately his other stats do seem to kind of hold him back just a little bit with that. With an evade of 945 isn't too shabby. Melee resist of 791 means he's going to be kind of hurting a little bit from incoming melee attacks, but his shoot resist does make up for it relatively decently. Unfortunately, however, being double anti-air means his overall mastery on the field is going to be rather limited to facing flight type legs only, and in all other situations he is going to be rather difficult to maintain when it comes to viability. However, with this, he does honestly take it in stride, as he is also capable of a meta change, as everyone does know. Oops, wrong slide. Apologies for that. Where he is capable of meta change. With this case, he is capable of changing his kit to missile, shoot boost, mobile boost, his leg type to wheel, and his leg ability also remains as Premacy, which again grants a damage reduction when taking damage of foes with the same leg type. Now, in this case, he does honestly change up his role from more of a niche combat to a more all-round shoot supporter more than anything else, even though the missile will honestly give him just a little bit more of a possibility and viability on the field more than just having to rely on minimal damage from anti-air. Shoot boost, simply put, it will grant a damage bonus and buff to any shoot-based skills across himself and all allies, and mobile boost will buff everyone's mobility, which is their base speed, by a certain percentage as well while the effect is active. Now, as a pure set score with this, I do have to rate him about a 6.5 out of 10. Given that without using him as mixed parts, you will be missing out on the missile, the shoot boost, and the mobile boost that he does offer, but it really isn't something to cry over or really have to sacrifice in comparison to other transformation types such as, say, Cross Messiah Z or Particle or Grain, because there really isn't a lot to be gained here, sadly. Even though his mobility does and his leg stats do go through the roof big time to something a little more manageable to where you'd want to see him. 1141 melee resist, 1318 shoot resist stays approximately the same of where he is before. 1495 evade honestly is fantastic, and of course his mobility does go up, being a wheeled-based leg, but that is also one of his biggest weaknesses, as wheeled legs do also have a very terrible leg terrain compatibility, with the exception of only 2 terrains at best, and that's including Cyber, where everybody's matched at S rank across the board. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I do have to rate him about a 5 out of 10. given that his leg is honestly still probably pretty solid, and probably one of the best parts on him if I'm completely honest. The anti-air is still going to be pretty nice to hold on to as a just in case. Thankfully, especially that it's not a heavy part in particular means you can fit it just about anywhere. But again, being that it is anti-air means you are going to be really struggling to find a lot of particular use of him against anyone that is not using a flight-based leg.